Hey, Salyards. Our PLC group was Blended Learning Effective Stations. So I think we first wanted to kind of make sure everybody was on the same page as far as kind of what blended learning was and kind of what even the station rotation model is. So the first couple of videos you'll see is from Caitlin Tucker, who is like an expert in blended learning. She actually does it in her classroom as a secondary English class she works with. And some of the things you're going to hear are her small group. She has teacher stations that are super helpful in finding those gaps in kids' learning. And she also has stations with technology, which, in our case, we have 8 devices, some classes, and that's what you need. And what I specifically want you guys to listen to is when she says go horizontal. That's just the bill. And it doesn't mean it's nap time, but when she says go horizontal, that's going to help you kind of wrap your mind around how am I going to make my lesson into a blended learning station. And she kind of explains how the thought process on that. So hope you enjoy, and we'll see you later.
We're going to be talking about how we can take stations and make students a little bit more accountable in their stations. So when you're pulling you're wondering, like, how do you know the kids are being productive in the stations that you are not currently running? There's going to be a video in Google Classroom that you'll be allowed to join in a minute that discusses all the things in his classroom to make sure the students are doing what they need to do. One of the things that he tries is like this accountability page or a task list. It'll be kind of guided like a lesson where you teach, then you kind of gradually release into their own independent work. And so they have these boxes they go, and sometimes they last a week, sometimes they're daily, but they have a practice. Then they use some kind of technology, and then they go into rotations, and it kind of just keeps them accountable. So if there's something that they're not creating, like a product in that station, they're writing an answer down or something on that page so that you know that they went through and did a technology component and they had the answer, the result at the end. Also, the management piece in which he does to track this is this place called Blend Space. So as you can see, this is for September 28th, and they have different steps. Like you have this directions, videos that might teach the lesson so he's not having to be with that group, an exit ticket, and different digital components that he has in different apps. And this app allows the student to have all the components, no matter if they're using, Prodigy or whatever math programs they can, all in one place with login codes. So the student has a one-place stop to go to. He also provides great things about what to do in whole group. So in whole group, he mentions these are some things that you can do. They can take notes. They can have a handout, Google Slides. That's what you're doing in a mini lesson. And then he offers suggestions later on for different things that you can do in the station rotation model. This is just one way to keep kids accountable. It's having something they actually turn in for those stations that are not requiring that they create a product, and having them check in with you so that you know on the page of a quick glance who needs to reteach and who can move on to a different station.
Okay, now while station rotation can be very effective in the classroom, it is important for teachers to consider the needs of all students, especially like our ELL learners, our special education students, and our students with dyslexia. So in our Google Classroom, one of the videos that we looked at shows a model to differentiate for students creating teacher-made groups. Groups can be grouped at similar abilities or mixed abilities depending on the activities that need to be reviewed. One way to do this is to review student data in iExplore and poll students who have historically struggled on classroom assessments to come to the teacher-led station first. This way, struggling students are able to clear up any misconceptions they are currently having with the material and to get extra practice with the teacher before they move on to further review stations. Now, we also have another video in our PLC Google Classroom. And this one, it's a little bit longer, but this one involves a code. And the second model that we looked at is guided more by student choice and self-assessment. And I think this works really great for our secondary students. The station rotation did not actually start until after almost 2 days of instruction. On day 3, students assessed if they wanted to work in an independent review station, a station with quick review from one of the co-teachers, or if they needed to have full review with the classroom teacher to get the extra practice.
These are additional resources that we found for differentiating. One good idea for using the station rotation model is that you can use your stations based on readiness. By applying the levels of Bloom's taxonomy, you can differentiate for each student. For example, if you have a station where they are very, very independent and they're at grade level, they can use the application level where they listen and take notes on their own. Another station can be a green station, which can be a comprehension level where they listen and classify specific key information in an outline paper. And then the yellow would be the knowledge where they're just recognizing and filling in missing words from a written transcript. So it's very good when you apply that because you're able to differentiate their needs. And it also gives space for you to have a small group with the teacher station for those students that need that extra help. We have another website, and it's the use of incorporating playlists where you are giving them the list of instructions of each thing that they have to do. You're able to give them a little bit of prior knowledge, maybe some websites or links where they can read about the contents or whatever is it that you're teaching in that station. And you're also having them be accountable by signing off what they've done and what they didn't. You can also have an extra space where you're able to use it to for them to want to ask for help and doing that in small group. And then this last website is for teaching best practices with special education, and this one helps more in the co-teaching part. If you have another person in your classroom that is able to help you, you can be able to work with that person to be able to make the station rotation model more effectively.
Okay, so we've included some stations. They're kind of make and take. They're totally edible depending on the content and what you want to do in the classroom. But these two options are a good start to the year, or if you've never done stations before, it's a good introduction. So the first one is an escape room style. And like I said, these are totally edible. But these stations are beneficial in ice breaking or getting to know students and each other, but also setting station procedures as well as classroom procedures. So the escape room walks students through breakouts such as supplies riddles, crypto quotes, but you can also adjust the difficulty of the breakout depending on the students. So these are serving the purpose of locating supplies, becoming familiar with the syllabus, and getting to know each other through the station rotation model. And then the second we've included in the Google Classroom are the task card station activities. These are more individualized for the students, but it includes a survey of how each student learns best, and also the students are able to set goals and expectations for themselves. And it also includes sort of what things motivate them as learners. So these stations can be used in any content, like we said. They are totally edible based on your needs as well as the students' needs.
And to access the Google Classroom for all of these resources, there is the code to get into the classroom. Once you join, you will have access to all the links and videos and resources that we have shared.